Welcome back, everybody, to Terribad Tavern! I'm so happy to be here. I don't have that sound alert. I'm gonna restart my D&D Beyond. Welcome, everyone. Those of you that are here and those that are not, that may watch this in the future on YouTube, to Terribad Tavern. We're back. We took a hiatus, longer than we expected to. But I'm so happy to be back, and I know these guys are too. Gosh, I don't even know where to begin other than just doing the what has happened. Christy, by the way, first time chat. Thank you for following while off stream. I also want to thank you to Zowie who followed off stream as well. Thank you guys.
Nice.
So the road so far. We did a mid-season finale last time, so it's been a while, and since it's been a while, I think it's good that everyone gets a little refresher of what's been happening so far. So, over 100 years of war have plagued the nation of Persalon. A long-running and bloody war has been happening between the lords and ladies who own the neighboring factions of the capital. The capital, of course, is where the king resided for the longest time until his unfortunate death of old age. Since then, the Silver Wolf Order has been running the entirety of Persalon. However, most recently, they decided to get a new leader. They hired a queen out of their own sort of ideals, believing that they had the right idea in choice of queen, Eleanor Astaria. Eleanor Astaria had an attempt on her life during her coronation, at which our brave heroes that you see below me were attending. They then sprung into action to defend the queen's life, and in return the queen hired them, and so the Silver Wolves also hired them, to hunt down the mysterious figure that attempted to kill the queen. They have since been on the road looking for different clues, and have come to a point now where they are trying to do kind of a personal favor for the queen. They're trying to show the world that the crown, even though an attempt on their life has been made, that the crown still holds power and still cares for all of its people. Since then, they've done a couple different jobs for a couple different people, and the one they are on right now is they are attempting to find a wand for a mage, for a wizard called Xerxes, who is in the town just outside of the main capital. They since found a grave, which turned out to not be so much a grave as an underground sort of cavern mine area where they met a sentinel, very similar to witchers in our universe. They found a sentinel who had been bleeding out and almost dead, who told them that an attempt on his life had been made from Xerxes, the very person who hired them. They are now continuing their search through the cavern on their way out, just kind of stopping in places they didn't look yet, to see what they might have missed and try to get to the bottom of this mystery. If you guys want to, you can introduce yourselves and your characters and kind of who they've been so far.
I'm Gildea. Bright Rune? Is that what I made her last name? Bright Rune.
Gildea.
I also go by Mrs. Nerd. I'm the human paladin, former military person. We had a very emotional parting of ways. And yeah. I'm big and clunky.
You. I'm Dorcas, the Dragonborn Wizard. I don't have. I was supposed to be just kind of a street performer, and now he's kind of evolved into something more than that. So, yeah.
Where's your staff?
Oh, I didn't get my staff.
No, you must have the staff. The tip of the staff must be within.
Your magical breadstick.
I don't think I had it last time.
And you rolled bad.
And I rolled really bad.
You did.
Okay, hold.
We all rolled really bad.
I think when you don't have a staff, it infects us. It gives us all a staff.
All right.
We get.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
hate it.
All right.
So good.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, I'm Vaza. I am also Dragonborn. I trust no one, and nobody may be at my back. However, FIFA had a bad experience and was papoosed across the world for a while. In which case, the back was allowed to be seen by some people, but we're now back to trying to make sure that we're not really reading that to anybody. But also, I have a chicken wing obsession, which you will learn more of as we go on.
Love it.
I am Azriel, the resident rogue, who does absolutely nothing wrong. Not a single thing.
Yeah.
Azrael has been the picture of holiness and goodness in the world. Not a single thing can be proven otherwise.
Allegedly.
You're so full of shit.
Allegedly.
I see through this BS.
I see through the lies of the Jedi. I'm Beard Goblin, aka Beardy, and I'm playing FIFA Cupbear, the bearded goblin druid who bears the World Cup, the cup of his own design. He's a connoisseur of hotel fruit water, crunchy chicken wings, and overall just thinks that everybody else is the leader. Very democratic
At least
process.
that's what-
He's voted for everybody, so then everybody else is the leader. That's just how things work. But yeah, FIFA Cupbear,
Them's the
Goblin
rules.
Druid.
Alrighty. And that is our incredible group that has gone on this sort of adventure so far. Love all of these characters so much in so many ways. Yeah, we are... So, I'm going to pull up a map. We use Tailspire for some of our battle maps and stuff, just so you guys know and are ever curious. You're going to be kind of seeing behind the DM screen a little bit when I show you the map, but when I show like the map and stuff, but I'm going to try to, when I need to look at things, hide it, because I forget to do that sometimes, and then you see my stupidity come out a little bit. But we're going to open that up to bring back where you guys were last time. So a few things on the screen disappear here, and we were here last time. So, to kind of get into the action, right? The last time you guys had sent the sentinel that you rescued, whose name just escaped me. I had it, and then I lost it. I believe it was Bernard.
That sounds
Yes,
right.
It was Bernard.
It was Bernard?
I
Okay.
have from
Yeah.
my notes, Bernard
Great.
was our sentinel boy.
Gotcha.
I remember thinking of Tim Allen's head elf in the Santa Claus.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Bernard, you sent him out to the wagon with your donkey Simon to catch his breath since he had been injured.
I did. Simon is looking after him. Our ass is looking after it.
And then within this sort of little... Oops, God, I forgot how to use this program. In here, you can probably see... I usually stream this to you guys on Discord, don't I? My bad. Okay, there we go.
I'm gonna slyly hand FIFA some chicken
Thank
wings right now,
you.
just to keep you kind of busy, just so you've got some chicken wings. It's like, okay, don't worry, man. I got you.
So this,
Thank you. I don't know where I am.
this little glowing ring that you see in this here is Azrael, who decided to sneak into this room that they had not yet seen. And he found a group of dwarves who were all working at forges and were yelling and arguing with each other, throwing different tools and things at one another, hitting each other in the head. And that's kind of what you stumbled into, Azrael, in this moment. So you guys are kind of free to take the situation. Everyone else is stacked up behind Azrael here in this sort of other room over here. And yeah. I don't know how best to paint the situation. If you guys have any questions, like the stuff you don't remember or whatever it may be, feel free. But
We have the wand, though, correct?
when
Yeah,
you found the
we
wand,
found
it
it.
was
Yeah, but we have it.
Yes,
Yeah,
Broken, and
it was
it's
broken.
leaking
It's-
that magic.
Brenard got
It's
stabbed
leaking
with
mayhem,
it,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bernard had been stabbed with it, and it was broken and leaking mayhem.
And
Yeah.
remind me, I believe I cast Enhance Ability on Azrael before we went in and gave him an advantage on
You did, yes.
dex checks.
Yes, which is
Including
why he
stealth?
was able to stay undetected when he
Hidden.
originally went in, I believe.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. For some reason, my freaking my D&D Beyond's freaking out, so I'm gonna try to fix this while you guys. Sorry.
So it's 4 dwarfs in here, isn't it?
Correct.
And they're now arguing about their wares.
Yes. They were.
Why did we?
I think we wanted to just like
Why did we come here?
Because we got
think we wanted to
curious, we just
see what they were
decided to see
doing.
what they were doing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or do you mean like why did we?
Specifically,
Do you mean like why did you come to this
Azrael
area in
got
general?
curious.
No. What they?
Okay, just making sure.
My question was answered.
Okay, sorry.
So do we want to do more
I
in
don't
this
recall.
I guess the question is, what does Azrael do?
room? Yeah. I mean, that is the question, really.
WWAD.
Oh, God.
That's what we'll do.
Mesner, you had a question. You said you don't recall something.
I don't recall whether the rest of the party was aware that Azrael had gone in that room.
Yeah, didn't we send him?
Yes, yeah. Everyone agreed that you should check this room. Like, there was because there was noise coming from this room specifically. There was kind of a group understanding of, oh, let's check out this room before moving on. Because you guys were on your way out.
Yeah.
Okay. That was I did not remember that part.
Can I just listen to what the dwarves are saying?
Sure, yeah. So originally the argument had kind of went on of like the two closest to the door had been arguing about one of them had mentioned that they had been down here for too long. The other had thrown a tool at. I'm trying to remember this. I should have watched the episode, but I was busy today. One had mentioned they'd been down here for too long and threw a tool at the other. The other said, well, maybe we would have some place to sleep if you would stop giving away all our stuff, and threw a tool back, missed, and then when he missed his tool throw, the other guy threw one back and hit him with it. And it was just kind of a bicker between those, and then one of the woman dwarves, which is in the back of the room, sort of turned around and told them both to shut up, and that they were arguing about nonsense. Was kind of the way the argument had gone when you were listening.
Are there any valuables in their wares anywhere in sight?
What's your passive perception?
14.
14? Okay. I'll say without sticking your head in, based off what you can see just sort of through the tunnel eye, you can see that there's a couple half-made suits of armor aligning one wall. On the opposing wall to the other side, there's a lot of storage crates that seem to have fine metals and things sort of scattered around them, and you can kind of see into one of them that's close to the ground, which is open, that has sort of nice steels and things in it, and then just a lot of blacksmithing tools across the tables in the center of the room.
WWAD.
Let's go to Azrael.
I mean, I definitely want to go check out the room and see what these dwarves are making.
All right. Are you going back to relay this to your group, or are you just being like, I'm gonna walk in here?
I'm gonna sneakily walk in.
Okay, make me another stealth check then, since you're now walking into this room that they're all in, instead of just trying to peek.
You have advantage for an hour.
Correct. And though it's been
or
weeks.
Until I lose concentration. So I
It's
imagine
literally
Vaz is
been a
trying to
month.
give
Oh,
me
thank
like,
you,
a chicken
FIFA.
wing.
Thank you, FIFA.
I imagine Vaz is like trying to give me a chicken wing, and I'm like, no, not now, Vaza. I am concentrating.
I keep having to refresh in order
it's
to
a
get.
Crunch
The
will
crunchable
distract
one.
me.
Okay, I'm gonna take the crunch out for you. I'm gonna take the crunch out for you. Don't worry. I'm gonna take out the bone. Here you go. There's no bones. There's no bones.
Oh, it's no bones day.
It's no bones day.
Oh god. Okay, so your first roll was a 10, and then because of your advantage, you got a dirty 20. So yeah, I'll say since everyone kind of goes back to their work, and the slamming of metal and anvils kind of shrouds your footsteps as you sneak into this room a little further. Let me see if I can move you. I'll say you get to kind of the tables here in the front without directly being noticed. You all, of course, being in the other room, see him not really say anything, but just kind of walk further into the room.
Can I go to where he was?
Sure, yeah. I'll say since you watched him, you can get to at least there without making a check, because you saw how he got in there. So,
Okay.
and it's not directly into the room. You see the things that I had outlined before.
Okay.
If you need a refresher on those, I can give it to you.
Changing.
So that's what I do.
Okay.
Stay where I
For now.
am, just making sure that FIFA has all the chicken wings to sustain him during this spell, so that we can remain as sneaky as possible.
Sweat's like dropping down my forehead, and I'm like, towel, and you like do the towel, chicken wing. Ah.
I'm totally there with like a little bit of cloth. I'm just gonna like rip a bit of cloth off from my from my jerkin and just be like dabbing his brow.
It's so
What?
I'm acting out.
Oh,
Did you not hear what she said?
I heard it. I just don't know why I got involved in this.
I am going to sneak closer and try and look in these
For crying
barrels.
out loud.
So you want to get all the way? You want to get to these chests over here?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh God. Jesus. Okay.
Okay.
You got a
Hold
dirty
on.
20 off your last check, which is getting into the room. So I think I'll give it to you. What's your hold on?
Oh no, if you're gonna give it to him, that's fine. Never
Yeah,
mind.
I think I will give at the very least
He's
getting
got
there
advantage,
to
so.
you. Well, it's the fact that he did get a 20 coming through the room, so I'll let him get there without anything else. I'll say. Yeah, you are at these chests. Are you kind of looking for what are you?
I'm looking for shinies.
Okay, make a I guess an investigation check to see how well you can look through all that, and make a sleight of hand check as well. Make both
Okay,
of
this
these.
is going to be interesting.
Sleight of hand is also dex, so you still have advantage.
Okay.
Not so much on the investigation.
Nope.
I don't know why D&D Beyond is messing with me. It's not showing me your guys' rolls. I keep having to refresh the page in order to get them back.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
That's all right. We can speak them out. Or the audience knows
Yeah.
too.
I mean, I usually try to say what they are. Okay, so your investigation was a 1. Not a natural 1, but a 1.
God.
And then sleight of hand was 16. So you go and you kind of push open the one crate that's in front of you, and you look inside, and it's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of not really, I don't know, anything that would interest you. It's raw iron and steel, and the crate next to it you also push open, and it's rations, like just, dried meats and things. And
Any chicken wings?
I don't know that chicken wings could be dried and made dry meat.
Hope so. We're running low.
Don't worry, I have some in reserve for you. It's okay, it's fine. But if we can find more, we'll get more.
And as you, I guess I gotta refresh again because you did get advantage on sleight of hand, right? And you got a 19 as your second one. You are looking through all this, and one of the dwarves, that's the one closest to the wall over here, is in the forge, and he turns and he starts working on the anvil. And as he's working on the anvil, he kind of turns and looks at you, and then as he, I guess I should, my camera's this way. I always forget my camera's this way because my chat's over here. But he turns and he looks at you and goes back to what he's doing, and then just kind of turns and just stares at you for a second. And he doesn't say anything, but he's you guys are just kind of staring.
Ah, well, hello there. I have come to oversee this operation.
Oh, good lord, here we go.
Make a deception check. When you do the hello there, all production also kind of stops in the room, and everyone turns and is just like, whoa, because suddenly there is someone else here. Oh, goodness. It's not loading. 14 off deception. Okay. Let me look at the thing.
As he's talking, what are the facial expressions on the dwarf's face?
Give me 1 second. I need to find something real quick to give you a good estimate of what their expression is. All right.
As we
So.
Hmm? Did we lose?
So, Vaza,
Yeah. Hi.
how long do you think before he steps in it and has to, pull out the daggers?
Oh, I definitely feel that if we don't hear anything in the next 5 minutes, that he's probably already been captured and killed. I would say that is probably accurate. And do you feel like you want to go in there? Do you how do you feel about the? Are we just gonna leave? Should we just go back to Bernard and Simon? I mean, I feel like, FIFA's getting really tired, and I've only got so many chicken wings, and.
Indeed.
I feel
And,
like
I
maybe, we could go our own way,
Yeah, indeed. Does tend to step in it.
look.
Yeah.
If you're all down, I'm with you. Let's just head out. Let's take Simon. Let's find a Garfunkel, and let's hit up the next bar. Let's do a couple pub crawls. Let's just have a blast.
I feel like your bright eyes are just really speaking to me right now, and
So the the facial expressions Dorcas say you see that. Oh my god, that whole interaction right there. It was good, but what the fuck. Anyway, the facial expressions you kind of see from the people you're looking, the ones you can see, because two of them are of course turned away from you, are kind of confusion as well as surprise. Like, you know, we weren't expecting everyone, but also like, okay, there's apparent what, and the dwarf closest to you as you goes, you were sent to oversee the operation.
Yes, just to make sure we are right on schedule, of course.
Who
If
sent
you
you?
three,
You can go ahead, Dorcas.
if you three want to leave, that's fine. But I'll bet each of you 5 gold that we can get out of this without having to draw daggers.
The last time we
I'll
bet
take that
something
bet.
with you, we lost.
Me
and
too.
I just what?
I will definitely take your bet.
Yeah, I
Fine,
100% take that bet. Yeah, I will definitely take that.
Draw weapons.
Draw weapons?
Yes, you said draw daggers. I'm amending it to draw weapons.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you've
draw
made
my
it a bit more
dagger.
difficult for me there now, haven't you? But
Really?
I meant myself and Azriel, not the 3 of you, because it sounds like you're all leaving.
You don't have a dagger. You have your stick with the tip.
Oh, I also have this dagger.
I actually
Are
also
you
have a
wielding the
dagger, I
butter
just
knife
haven't
right
used it
now?
yet.
you
Have you
have?
brought the
Oh,
butter knife
nice.
back out?
Yes, it's my knife.
It's your
But I've-
butter knife.
I've sharpened it. Don't worry. This
You
thing
Oh, have you?
cuts anything like butter now.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Neither can this knife.
Knife. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go in the room.
You're gonna go into the room.
I'm gonna go into the room.
Okay. You log in then. I'll
And
put you around. here.
I'm gonna say, excuse me, sir, but it seems like the production is way off, and I'm not really sure if we're gonna be able to make schedule with these numbers that I'm seeing right now.
Okay. So, Azrael, what is your answer to? But before we get to what Dory said, what is your answer to who sent you?
Ah, you see, the boss. The boss sent me.
Okay. The one dwarf. God, I can't remember the controls for this app. Okay, the one dwarf over kind of closest to you. Oops, I clicked a button I shouldn't have clicked. I might have broke it. Oh, I might have broke it. Okay, we're good. Turns to look at you, Dorcas. And Azrael, you're giving this response, and Dorcas, the dwarf looking at you just kind of stops for a second and gets really wide-eyed and starts going dra 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 dra, and you just kind of stuttering. And as he is, the other dwarf on the other side of you turns to see what he's stuttering about, and also starts going dra dra dra, and now this dwarf talking to Azrael goes, right, but that doesn't make sense because not many people know about us. So, and then hearing the whole like dra dra, he goes, what are you two going on about? And the two by the door just together yell, Dragonborn! And the farthest dwarves in the back of the room immediately throw what they're working on to the ground and pull a couple of daggers from their backs and go and just
We haven't pulled yet.
pull daggers from where they're at, and the one points at you, Azrael, and goes, "Is he with you?"
I'm gonna turn to Gildea and
Oh, you're
FIFA
muted.
right now and be like, so, guys.
Absolutely, he is with me. Who do you think the boss sent to make sure everything is on schedule? You think he would just send me? Look at how busy he is.
Okay. There's
So
a
I guess we're
reason
gonna
I
get our
want you.
gold.
There's a reason I want you to roll a deception check, but I'm not sure. Roll one. Roll a deception check. Yes, he
Can I
is
roll
with you.
persuasion?
Who?
Okay, roll persuasion. I'll let you roll persuasion instead. And I understand he is actually with you. That's not the part you're lying about, but there's another. There's lore reasons.
Ooh.
That I feel
Okay.
you need to roll for. And I know why you wanted, because it was +6. If it would load for me, I can tell you what the
It's
outcome
22.
is. Jesus, 16 + 6.
That's a good number. That's a 22's a very good number. The best number.
What are you talking about? I need a wing. I need a wing.
Okay, I've stuffed this one with cheese. Here, look,
What
it has
about-
cheese in the
What
middle
about
instead
22?
of.
Who are you talking to?
No, it's okay. Just
Cheese?
eat the stuffed chicken wing with cheese. I put cheese in the middle. Here you go. It's just cheese.
Got any
Oh,
more
is
of
this-
those?
Oh, is it blue?
It is, yeah. It's spicy.
Why is it spicy?
God damn it. The female dwarf in the back corner kind of looks over at you, Azrael, and then looks at Dorcas and goes, "It must be a cold day in hell." And the one closest to you, Dorcas, kind of turns back to Azrael and goes, "You mean to tell me they're hiring Dragonkin now?"
Yes, of course. Now, I understand it may not be...
Look,
It may not be orthodox. However, the boss has seen value in Dragonkin.
hired might be a bit of a exaggerated term. You see, I am indentured to this man here.
The two closest to you, Dorcas, kind of look at each other weird, and the one looks back at you and goes, "What's your name?"
My name?
He kind of slams something on the anvil and he goes, "No, the name of your dog. Yes, your fucking name."
Okay. I'm basically now trying to come across as, enslaved, so I kind of shy away and try and look as non-threatening to this dwarf, even though I'm towering over him.
Right.
I turn to him and I say, "The name that my master there gave to me is Calic."
All of the dwarves kind of look really confused for a second when you say master there. And the one female dwarf kind of like looks down for a second and she goes, "He's your master."
I.
Does that mean, and she looks up at you, Azrael, and she goes, "Have we won? Is it over?"
It is over.
All of the dwarves kind of look at each other for a second, and the two that were holding daggers drop them, and they go, It's been, like, they all kind of, like, begin talking to themselves, and you hear, like, "It's been so many years, and, one kind of like holds his hands up and he goes, "In the name of Demic!" And they all kind of start doing hip hip hoorays in this room. And
Yes, let's celebrate!
God.
the one closest to you, Azrael, kind of rushes you and grabs you. He goes, "We will celebrate, but you have to tell us, where was the last stand? How great was it? Who won the battle? Does the sun still live, for God's sake?"
Yes, yes, yes! We'll go over all these details in short.
Sir, I really, there's something very pressing that you must know, and I do not wish to tell you what to do, my master, but there is something very, very important that we must do right now.
I am so sorry for the interruption. Let me just meet with my associate here.
Okay. Are the two of you kind of like stepping away into the other room then? Back where you came from? Okay. You two kind of go back to join the rest of the group in the other room, and as you do, one of the dwarves starts barking orders. He goes, "All right, clean everything up. We need to get out." And they start sort of rearranging and packing things.
Right, we are leaving right now.
Okay.
What did you
This
do?
was just getting good!
What did Azrael do?
It does not. Do you not understand the meaning of the words, right? We are leaving. Let's go.
I don't know. It sounds like a party's going on in there now. I kind of want to
It
join.
is a party!
Yes, one that is fabricated on a lie. And I do not wish to have to keep trying to put this up because the slightest misstep and we're all going to be shish kebab. Now let's go.
You know what? You're totally right. We do have a wizard to go kill, so let's go do that instead.
Nice word.
But the party!
Uh, th- Azrael brings up some good counterpoints.
Okay,
Dorcas,
let's
do you
go.
have a rebuttal?
My rebuttal is to go over to let's see. How much can I do with this? That's not gonna work. Okay.
Excuse me.
I go over to FIFA and haul him up and start walking.
Ah, don't you dragonborn handle me!
Make a strength check to make sure that you can just kind of pick. I know FIFA's small, but like,
Ah, get off of me!
Probably can.
Take on! I start screaming.
Oh, I
Ah!
got a 17.
you've got a 17. Yeah, then I'll say that you just kind of pick FIFA
Oh, I
up by
don't
his
even get to
robe.
contest it?
Oh yeah, you can. I guess since it's kind of a grapple, you can make your strength to try to get out of it.
Maybe like a dex
Okay, yeah, I can give you that.
to try to dodge.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. That is a 17.
It's a tie. Typically with ties we do clash.
Flash.
I guess then it is Dorcas trying to pick up FIFA, and FIFA, like a toddler, just kind of fighting and being like, "No, don't pick me up. I don't want this."
I lay down on my back and I get my feet up when I start doing the kicky thing.
If you do not stop right now, I am going to be forced to do something I really do not want to do.
I'm gonna go over to my accountability buddy and just be like, "It's okay, come on. He doesn't understand the chicken wing thing. It's fine. It's okay.
Okay.
We can go."
Okay, Vaza, I'll go with you.
Okay, good. Let's go. Let's leave.
Let's go now.
So
Alright.
y'all are bailing the fuck out of this place.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
gonna go get Simon.
All right, you guys then take off out of the exit, and you hear kind of booming as you're leaving, booming through the halls, a voice go, "All right, we'll catch up with you." And you
I'm sorry, your mic cut out.
Oh,
Can
did
you
it?
say that again?
you
Yeah.
hear, "All right, we'll catch up with you," kind of echo through the halls as you leave.
Okay.
I'm going.
Yes, my new friends, we will have the party at the tavern.
You just shut up. Get out of the goddamn dungeon.
I'm gonna hide this. So you guys head out to find Simon with his cart on the other side of the graveyard. It's become very late in the day. There's very little light left. And Bernard is just kind of sitting on the back of the wagon, chilling out.
All right.
Hey,
First of all,
Bernard.
the three of you owe me money.
Fine.
Fine, have 5 gold.
I drew
Far
my
be it.
dagger.
Wait, there was money on the line?
You were off
Yes,
doing
there was
stuff.
money on the line.
Oh, I could have kept that going all day.
Oh, jeez.
Not from the looks they were giving you. So wait, so I get 5 from Vaza and from Gildea, and FIFA's refusing.
I don't know
FIFA
that
has-
FIFA has
FIFA
money.
Oh.
FIFA has
Oh,
200
that's
gold
true.
now? Question mark?
Did you
Right, 'cause
buy
it
anything when
discussed
you
it
guys got
before.
you paid?
Nope, I haven't bought anything yet.
Oh wait, FIFA doesn't understand the meaning of money. Okay.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that. Yeah,
You want-
you still
You
have a
want
ton
this
of money.
gold? Okay, here you go.
FIFA tries to
1,
give
2, 3,
Dorcas
4,
all of
5.
his gold, and I'm gonna take
No,
the
I'm
pouch
not
off
giving
of
all
him.
of it. It's shiny. I'm
okay.
not getting rid of this.
Okay, so what are you actually pulling out?
I'm pulling out 5 gold and then I'm giving it away. I understand like
Okay.
how purchases work, and I'm
Okay, there we
purchasing
go.
my honor back from the other one, the other Dragonborn.
Okay, yeah,
Oh my
that's it. That's
goodness.
right.
End that stream. Okay.
So now, what was with them? Why were they so scared of you?
I don't know. That's why we had to leave, because we didn't have enough information to keep a deception going long enough.
I'm sure we could have figured something out.
Maybe.
Everyone make a history check.
Okay.
Eh?
I don't know a damn thing.
I have to wait for all of them to come through before I can refresh, so that way I can actually see them.
I rolled a 5.
Yeah.
I also rolled a 5.
So did I!
Oh!
I also rolled a 5.
Where is your staff?
Vaza rolled an 11.
It's
Everyone else
her.
rolled a 5 and below.
I can't see anyone's rolls.
Yeah, I have to refresh every time people roll in order to get them up. I don't know what's wrong. But okay, an 11. That's not much. Vaza, with your history of backstory and things, right?
Yeah.
I will say that you're not exactly sure why those guys would have been mad. But you know, growing up in Telbach, as a dragonborn, being raised by dwarves, there was always funny looks that you got. Your
Yeah.
family always got, like, people always made comments about your family, even with their status in town. And you always got weird looks. So, to you, that's kind of like, well, yeah, it makes sense that they were mad. You don't know why, but it's not different.
Yeah.
Okay. That is what I can give you with your 11.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, we fail.
So
I
yeah.
guess the world will never know.
Wait, does does Azrael still have the buff to his checks?
Oh yeah.
It's
It's
dexterity
for
specifically, isn't it?
dexterity.
Yeah. Because
Oh.
FIFA had to specify which check
Yeah.
it was.
Alright. Just checking.
I gave him cat's grace. I traced a little kitty cat in a constellation onto his chest. Because one of the things is I have to touch.
Okay. Where did we leave Bernard?
He
we're
is
back
on
with
the
Bernard.
wagon with Simon outside
Oh,
of the graveyard.
Okay.
Brennan, how are you feeling?
He looks at you kind of weird and goes, I'm alright. I definitely won't be able to fight for a while, but I can travel on my own.
Great. Do you feel good enough to identify a wizard? The one who might have stabbed you?
He kind of chuckles and he goes, couldn't forget his face if I tried.
Well, then let's go get this son of a ditch.
Done.
Alright, so you all are gonna head back to town?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
What is a gun?
As inadvisable as that is.
It goes pew pew. You gonna ride on Simon again?
No.
No. Okay.
I need to stretch my legs a little bit. I feel like I've been getting carried quite a bit lately.
You all then take the road back to town. Short walk, just like before. However, when you do get there, the sun is almost completely. Well, it is behind the trees. The last light, kind of overhead, kind of hard to see. The road lamps are getting lit at this time, and the town is pretty just kind of. I don't know, bland. No one's really coming in and out. Most people have stopped their travel for the night, and you are here.
And we see where Wizard Boy is. Is he within
He is not.
viewing distance?
He is not in the main road of town. No, you don't see him as you wander in.
I believe we paid for him to stay the night at
The tavern we
the
destroyed.
tavern, right? Oh, the tavern we're now banned from?
The tavern we're now banned from.
Yeah.
We're not banned from it. I fixed that.
You did?
Yes.
We're about to be. Let's go get him!
All right, you guys go to the tavern where the door has been put back on its hinges, and the place has been
look, they fixed
reorganized
the
and
door.
cleaned back up. There are not too many people in here, kind of the usual night goers, a couple travelers that look a little dirty from the road. And as you all walk in, the bartender looks up and he goes, "Oh,
Now, all of you, try and stay out of trouble this time.
Can we have a plate of chicken wings, please, and some milk for my companion here?
He just kind of looks at you all and
Not
nods.
me, I'm lactose intolerant.
He just kind of nods for a second, and when you say companion, are you pointing at Bernard?
Yeah.
He kind of nods, and he snaps back up and looks at him, and he goes, "Oh my God, you're alive." And Bernard goes, "Yeah, I don't really know how long it's been." And he goes, what?" And he goes, "We'll talk about it, just, you know." And the innkeeper kind of nods and hastily moves back to the kitchen area to start getting...
Innkeep. Before you do that, could you tell us which room Xerxes is staying in?
He goes to walk through the door and stops for a second, and he goes, "We only have the one upstairs," and heads through the door.
That makes it convenient.
Go on, Asriel. Go and
Okay,
pick
Bernard.
his lock.
Do you... Wait, Bernard.
I
do you have
don't
any,
pick locks.
Before
Yes,
we do
you
anything,
do.
Bernard, do you have any, like, ideas on, like, ways to, like, dramatically reveal that you are alive? Like, do you want to do anything special for this event? Like, do you want to, like, we knock on the door and then he answers it and then surprise you're there and you say, like, something witty like, "I lived, bitch."
Ta-da!
He kind of thinks for a second.
Man who lived.
He thinks for a second. He goes,
Die.
"You want it to be dramatic?"
Do you want it to be dramatic? I mean, this is your revenge story we're partaking in.
He goes, "I suppose I could do something with a little flair." He turns to Dorcas and he goes, "Are you still holding the mayhem that came from me?
Aye.
Could I, by
Ooh.
chance, take some of that?
You want me to give you the wand, or?
Is that what you... I believe you absorbed it into your staff, if I could just touch it for a moment.
Very well.
You
So
gonna
I
touch
hold
it with
my-
the tip?
He reaches
I'll
out...
hold my
You
staff
gonna,
out.
you gonna let him touch the tip of your staff?
He grabs the staff, and around his hand, a sort of spectral hand, almost like a holographic skin, overlays his hand that looks sort of decayed, and that wave of holograph kind of runs up his arm until it goes over his face, and you see sort of a decaying person overlaid over his sort of figure. And as that image fades, his eyes glow a bright green, and he goes, "You all go up first. I'll be right behind you."
Wow. Alright. He wasn't kidding.
Before we go, I noticed that the chicken wings have like come out now and are sitting on there, so I'm just gonna like grab one off the side and like munch that and just hand one to FIFA before we go up the stairs.
Yes, thank you.
Eating the bone. Alright, you all head up the stairs then to the
Yep.
room that kind of takes up the upper portion of this inn.
Nazo.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna-
What?
I'm gonna rub my barbecue fingers on Xerxes' shirt.
Oh yes, do it.
I'm gonna say, he lived, bitch.
Aim for the white bits. You want to get as much on as possible. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, good. I know he's a wizard and he probably has like a special cantrip that can clean it immediately, but like, it's the thought, you know.
Yeah, no, it's
Indeed.
definitely that.
These are some big stairs. Are we there yet?
I would imagine so. I'm waiting for y'all to say what you do next.
Is the door open? Can we open the door, or is it locked? Do we need a lock picker?
I would say you go to open the door and it opens. As you open it, Xerxes is sitting on the edge of the bed in kind of like a night shirt sort of thing,
Oh no.
and goes, "God, does anyone knock?"
We have a
No.
surprise for you, Xerxes!
Just. Did anybody else just lose his audio?
No, he just.
My audio, did I
No.
cut out for a second?
It was the last thing you said. Does anyone knock?
Yeah, that's the last thing I said.
No, that's because we were
Oh.
on Twitch, not on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just like saw you doing like this, and I didn't hear anything.
My bad.
No, it was we were
No.
on Twitch,
Okay.
and so it's
Not
like,
you.
Yeah.
All right.
I was confused.
You say we have a surprise for you, and he stands up and kind of like composes himself and goes, "You found my wand."
Oh, we found your wand.
He goes, "Oh, well then, please," and holds out his hand.
Go on, grab his arm.
Bernard, now. Bernard, now.
Go on,
Now,
FIFA.
do something dramatic now, Bernard.
Do with the barbecue.
He holds out his hand, and the candles that light this room blow out. And those of you with dark vision can, of course, see clearly here in this room, but Gildea, for you, it would just be sort of like, you know, your eyes take a second because it went from
Dim.
light to dark in a second.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of light coming through the one window that faces the street. But a green glow sort of begins coming up from the floorboards, illuminating the room. And a very deep voice just kind of says, "Xerxes." And the light all clouds together and turns into a swirl of mist, and from the mist, as it dissipates, Bernard is standing in its place, and all of the candles in the room sort of relight themselves. And Bernard is standing between all of you and Xerxes, who has his hand out. And Xerxes just kind of pulls his hand back and he goes, I see you're okay, Bernard. And Bernard goes, you tried to kill me. Xerxes takes a couple steps back and goes, well, of course, that's the way you would see it. The lights start to flicker again, and Bernard takes a step forward, and he kind of aches for a second and catches himself on the bed, and he goes, that took more out of me than I thought. And Xerxes goes, and you're, of course, weak from what happened. I can see that. So if the lot of you would just please hand me my wand and I can finish my work.
And what work exactly is that?
Xerxes, you're under arrest.
On what charges?
Attempted murder.
And all around just being a dick.
He scoffs and he goes, I am attempting to save the life of a little girl.
Whose little girl was it again?
Oh yeah, it's the diseased little girl.
And how and by what means exactly were you going to
Her
do
name's
this?
Blair.
Did I name her that, or are you naming
I
her that
named
right
her
now?
that.
Very well.
No, yeah. FIFA
No, I named her that
We're-
last
Blair.
session. This is
Yeah,
continuing
we're
the canon.
trying to say
Gotcha.
Blair.
He pulls the chair out from a desk sitting by the window and sits down, and he goes, do any of you understand how sentinels work, besides our friend Bernard here? You can all do,
Enlighten us.
if you guys want to know if you know anything, you can do intelligence checks to see if that's something you are aware of.
Ooh.
Just
Alright.
regular intelligence check?
Yeah, I'd say so. Probably. Maybe wisdom. I'll say intelligence. It's probably not something
Might know
everyone's
something.
I know something as well.
tuned to.
Where is that? I can't see it.
That's what I
Very-
rolled.
Roll a 16?
Yeah.
You both rolled 16s?
Yeah.
Where's intelligence? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I know a lot.
Yeah.
19 for Vaza.
Let's see if I know anything. I know nothing.
Jon Snow, okay.
What you get? It's like showing me.
A 4.
Gotcha. Okay. FIFA, are you rolling one?
Alright.
Or
No.
okay. That's fine.
Just like,
I feel
no.
on brand.
I know.
Guarantee people doesn't know anything about this.
Okay.
I know
So-
nothing.
Vaza, Dorcas, Golea, I'll give you guys a good rundown. Vaza, you'd probably know a little more, but I'll give you guys a quick rundown of how sentinels work. Just kind of history of sentinels in our world. So,
Cool.
you guys have probably run into a couple in your travels. Vaza, definitely. Golea, you've probably seen one or two, and the same as Dorcas. So, one of the Masters of Mayhem, as there are 4 in our world, one of the Masters of Mayhem decided that he was not going to oversee any crowns, he was not going to help lords and ladies, he wasn't going to fight in wars. He wanted to help the people in his own way. So he decided to create a large tower as far north as he could and create beings that were infused with the soul of a wraith. He found a way to create possession that he could summon a wraith, and a wraith could fuse with a person if they were willing. If the wraith is willing to fuse with a person, then they become powerful, and they have mayhem now helping them. Hence the green eyes and the green glow that they create. It is the wraith showing through them. These sentinels, as he called them, were meant to replace adventurers. As Persalon started beginning to become filled, as people knew more about the areas and things, less adventurers were traveling the roads. So he felt by creating these sentinels, who are all willing parties, the Sentinels could travel and protect people where adventurers weren't. Sentinels, however, do this at a great cost. They, one, have to start at a very young age. They need to be able to take on a Wraith's possession by the age of 18. If a Wraith successfully merges with a person by the age of 18, then they now have a limited lifespan. Because the Wraith is feeding off the body and the mayhem that goes through a Sentinel, they will die by the age of 32 if they are not killed in battle. Most of the time, when they die, the Wraith simply leaves their body and moves on to the astral plane. Sentinels do this, again, willingly. Children often do this as a choice. They hear about Sentinels. It's like joining the military. Like, Gildea probably heard at a young age, oh, I want to go to the military, and joined up. Kids hear about Sentinels, they want to be one, they go and they train and try to prove that they are worthy of being Sentinels. Only 1 in every 3 children is actually chosen to get a Wraith brought onto them. So, you guys rolling know this kind of information. Sentinels get a bad rap because many people fear Wraiths and think that the Wraith is in control and not the person. So, yeah. I'll say that's kind of where your knowledge lies. I know that was a whole lot of information.
How
But...
old is Bernard? Can we tell? How old is Bernard? Can we tell?
Bernard, by looking at him, you could probably say he's in his mid to late 20s.
So remind me. So what did Xerxes say to us?
He
That
asked.
prompted this roll?
He asked you all how much. Do any of you know how Sentinels work?
Just gonna go with a straight yes. And not elaborate on anything more. Just yes.
Know that if your reason for trying to kill him is simply because he's a sentinel, then
He shakes his head and goes, "You misunderstand me. Sentinels are immune to disease. Their regenerative powers makes it so that way they can cure sickness before they even get it. They can heal wounds that would otherwise kill them, as Bernard is currently doing with the mayhem running through his body. My plan was not to kill him because he was a sentinel. My plan was to extract the Wraith and make the girl a sentinel."
thus killing
How
him.
is that saving her? That's killing him. And
Bernard give you his consent about this.
Of course not. It would kill Bernard in order to do this. However, Bernard...
And did the little girl give you her consent?
He goes, "No, not in exact words, but most people don't understand magic unless they go to school for it, so I see it as a way to do magic without the knowledge of those who are willing to know about it. They just asked me to fix the problem. They didn't ask how. Consider this."
You know,
Oh, go ahead.
this feels like one of those instances where your commanding officer knows more about an operation than they let on. And you're supposed to go in, take care of it anyway. I have a feeling that if you talked to this little girl and her family, that they might feel a little bit squeamish about you killing another person to save her.
and then killing her.
I think
As
you were
she
so
will only
busy.
live so long.
I think you were so busy thinking about whether or not you could do it. You didn't think about whether or not you should.
He goes, "Consider something. Based off my calculations, this girl will be dead within the week. The sickness is taking her very strongly, and her family will witness their child dying before the age of 10. No family should have to witness that. Bernard here has had, I'd say, roughly 27 years. He's close to the end of his life and has helped many people. The girl will not have to know about the Wraith. She will be in full control. And she will get 32 years with her family. I see it as a life lived and almost finished because of a wraith, giving another life a chance. A girl the opportunity to live with her family and live healthily, rather than die horribly and painfully before she is even able to be old enough to, I don't know, have a drink, ride a horse properly, hell, see the castle, as most people don't even leave this town.
Dorcas, you've gotten magical
Aye.
schooling, yes?
Yes.
So you probably know a lot of laws of magic and stuff like that. That I follow the laws of nature, so I wouldn't know. Do you think that his arguments are aligning with the laws set in place that you have about your magics?
So would I know what? I'm assuming that there's laws of magic that say that killing someone with it is wrong, but
I mean, the idea of killing someone with magic isn't exactly wrong, considering magic is used at war. Like,
but an innocent.
But like these experiments and this kind of stuff, is this something that there's laws against?
I would say God, that's more of a moral question, because in truth, a master of mayhem, someone who has direct control with the mayhem that governs the world, already does this.
All right,
True.
so I'll
I'm
answer the
wondering if
question.
there's like laws put in place for wizards that like, hey, like don't experiment on people without their consent, and don't.
I think that's
do this
more of
kind of thing.
I think that's more of just a, like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. I don't think it comes around, and like there are of course necromancers and people who do bad things, and so it's not so much of like, yeah, it's like, hey, we outline that when we teach you about magic, you shouldn't do this kind of fucked up shit, but people do it anyway, and it's like, yeah, we stop people from doing fucked up shit the best we can, but they're gonna do it, and in some cases we've learned from them doing it. So it's kind of this it's this weird gray area of like, we don't want you to do it, but we've learned a lot from people doing it. So
Dorcas, what would happen if we were to take this person in? To stand a trial, what do you think would happen?
What would a mage's council say?
Or
What, is
would
that
the
what you're
queen
asking
say?
me?
We're working on behalf of the queen, so
I highly doubt the queen would like it.
very well. Let's take Xerxes in for a trial then.
Is there any check we can do on Xerxes to see whether or not he's actually capable of pulling off this magic? Because so far he's been incompetent.
Very sure.
if anyone,
Would anybody know that?
I mean, you can detect magic if you have that spell. There's also
I did that already. I detected magic, but you didn't tell me how.
Yeah, it was hard to tell how much was coming from him, and I chalked that up to him not having his wand.
Well, I have his wand now, so I'm going to do it again.
Okay. Is that what the Arcana check is, or?
Yeah, unless I should roll something different.
Oh no, that's fine. 16. His magical aura is stronger now that he's closer to his wand. But the wand is broken, and he's also not touching it. So.
What is it like in comparison to mine?
Pretty equal, I'd say. Probably a bit more powerful, considering he has fully graduated and gone through all training. And you have a few lessons you never finished. He's also quite a bit older than you, so he's been
But
practicing.
he's
longer.
not that much more powerful than I am?
No. You can only get so far.
Tell
in
me
magic.
something. Oh, but still, me being close, not having had some of those, although again, that could just be pure raw talent. Um, Tell me something, Xerxes. Do you consider yourself a master of mayhem?
He sort of chuckles for a second. He goes, "Of course not. How can anyone master mayhem without the proper training?"
So you do not have proper training.
No, not in a sense. Well, Dorcas, we have both received magical training. I, at the School of Savine. I'm not quite sure which school you have gone to, but I assume, it was a prominent one. We have basic understanding of exorcism and how to remove spirits from bodies and how to attempt to stop otherworldly beings from being in this world. All I'm doing is performing an exorcism and then doing the same thing in reverse.
And what other magic did you try when it came to healing this girl first?
Those within my capabilities, short of killing a dragon and breaking its heart in half. Of course I can't, because dragons aren't really around anymore, but I've tried everything, and two Masters of Mayhem aren't even in this country, and the other two have their own priorities. One doesn't leave his tower, the other is talking to a queen. I don't imagine they would be willing to help in any way, shape, or form.
I turn to my friends and say, we know that Master of Mayhem.
We do know that Master of Mayhem. We could take the girl.
Mayhap we could persuade him. What?
He's kind of the worst, though, isn't he?
Aye, but if we can tell him that this would very good for the Queen's reputation, he might be willing to help.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Bernard if it goes the way of like saving the girl in this manner, is he willing to give up the wraith and do this? Is that something that he would be willing to do?
Bernard has been is now kind of sitting on the edge of the bed listening to this conversation. And you ask him if he's willing to make this change. He kind of sits for a second and he goes, I've saved a lot of people. And he kind of looks up to Xerxes and goes, are you sure it'll work? Xerxes kind of sits back and he goes, in truth, no. I've never done it before. There's a chance that we could attempt this and the Wraith could not take to the girl and we would have to kill it. And in that case, I might as well die because the father's already guaranteed that my death if the girl dies in my care. But, as I said, I've tried everything else. And Bernard kind of sits there and goes, I've helped enough people. And part of being a sentinel is being willing to die for someone else's life. I can understand all of you wanting to stop him from doing this. But if you'll allow it, I won't stop him.
How difficult? I know you, from what I've just overheard, it's pretty difficult to get to the point where the Wraith is going inside of you. How difficult is it to control the Wraith afterwards? Will this girl need special training?
He goes, the Wraith is just an extension of myself. You're sick for a couple days. It definitely wears you out, but the Wraith has no control. It's more of, like, I can see by looking at you, you're a druid. You pull power from nature. I do the same with the Wraith. I pull power
Is
from
your source
the
of
Wraith.
power.
Don't get me wrong. If things get a little too crazy, if I am on the brink of death and going to die, the Wraith can take control. That's how I survived until all of you found me. The Wraith kept me alive. But I don't foresee a little girl from some town having to fight for her life like that.
Okay, well then, the next step is
Speak to her.
going to her family and making sure that they understand all of the risks inherently, and making sure that they want to do it. Dorcas, I think you are probably
Most amenable.
the most suited to this task. I don't want Xerxes going, quite frankly.
No.
But Dorcas, you seem like you have a great bedside manner and would be able to explain all of the inherent risks.
If I do this, is anyone going to attempt to go contact the Master of Mayhem that we do know to get him here?
Oh, that's a good point. You are also the best at talking to the Master of Mayhem. Maybe I will go and explain the inherent risks.
No, because here's the thing. Xerxes, you said it's a difficult procedure, aye?
Correct. It is not exactly something you find written down often.
And what if there were two wizards doing it?
Significantly easier, I would say.
Right.
But we could sell this
One
to
of
the
you
Queen
needs
as getting the Master of Mayhem coming down here in the name of the Queen to save a commoner girl. That is very good optics for the Queen, which is our whole purpose. So she could give an order
I agree.
to the Master of Mayhem.
So one of you
Our
should
Master
go.
of Mayhem, what's his name again?
Oscar.
Oscar.
Oh, Ozzy! I
Ozzy,
get on
Ozzy,
really,
Ozzy.
really well with Ozzy. Can talk to Ozzy. Let's go. He loves
Go to
me.
I
Ozzy,
believe-
Ozzy.
Ozzy,
One of
Ozzy.
you,
Oi, oi,
or
oi.
at least two of you, should go. I don't care how many. I will stay here. I will talk to the family, and if we run out of time, if you're not back soon enough, I will help him perform the ritual.
I will stay as well. I'm pretty good at healing. I feel like I could maybe be of use.
Aye.
So then Dorcas and FIFA will stay behind to notify the family and say what's going on. Is everyone else going to get the Master of Mayhem?
I feel like somebody needs to stay with Xerxes.
Isn't he going to be with us?
Oh, that's a good point. Are we just
You
gonna?
and me, FIFA?
Yeah, I just don't want Xerxes going to the family.
Out in his.
I mean, he doesn't have to go with the family. Like, when we go there, only one of us has to go talk to them.
Oh, that's fair.
The other two.
No, I'm gonna go talk to Ozzy.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's coming? Does anyone want to come with me, or is it just me?
Don't like the idea of the two of you being here by yourselves with Xerxes.
FIFA and me?
Yes.
Are you gonna stay with
Do
them?
not trust him. Yes.
So Azriel, do you
Someone
want to
should go with Vaza.
go with Vaza?
Asriel, are you coming with me to go to the Master of Mayhem?
Can't let you have all the fun.
All right.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun
Nice.
conversation.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited for that.
Um,
What a team up!
So, Xerxes stands and goes, "Very well," and helps Bernard to his feet, and goes, "Bernard, I want you to." And he just kind of like sighs for a second. He goes, "In the chance that we have to use you, make peace with that." Bernard kind of nods and he goes, "I'll be back soon." and sort of steps out of the room and goes, I will, I suppose, wait here under the guard of your very large friend, and looks up at Gildea's just powerhouse body. And he sits on the bed.
There's a powerhouse body.
He sits on the bed and goes,
Nicely done, my friend. Nicely done.
he goes, the rest of you may act as quickly as you must, but as I said, the girl's time is limited. Whether you go tonight or tomorrow morning, either way, I will remain here. And so you guys are set to do as you will, and how fast you want to do it.
I think we definitely go to the girl's house tonight.
Yeah.
I think you should.
I think everybody we need to go as fast as we can.
Yeah.
With great haste.
All right.
We'll set off straight away.
Post haste.
Gildea, I guess.
Lipaza, show us the meaning of haste.
Gildea, I guess, stalks up and sits in the room with Xerxes, kind of watching, being guard to him. Dorcas and FIFA, you two head into a little further into town to find the house of the girl, and Vaza and Azriel are beginning rushing back to the capital. I guess we'll start with soonest thing being Dorcas and FIFA finding the house of the girl. It is late still. It is late in the night as you approach the house.
On the way, can I kind of like, as we're walking, look up to Dorcas and be like, can I ask you a question?
Aye.
So, I have a good understanding, and I'm kind of like looking up at the stars when I say it. I have a good understanding of where my, I guess you would call it mayhem, comes from, but what is the origin of yours? Like, where, because you read it in these books, and where does it come from there?
This is something I should probably know the answer to.
I have told you this outside of game, but if you want me to go into it, I can.
I haven't. I mean, it's mayhem is almost the forces of creation, isn't it? It's like
sort of. I can. Okay, so magic did not exist in the world for the longest time. Okay. Mayhem came from demigod that I believed. I don't have the note written here. I'd have to dig through and find it. But came from a demigod. I believe named Maya. Maya was the first one to sort of have this powerful energy and introduced it and gave it to people. But when Maya got a little too power hungry and people weren't using magic the way he intended, he created a cataclysm, which is he essentially destroyed himself and attempted to destroy as much of the world as he could with it. 4 masters contained the explosion and ended the cataclysm, which is where you get Masters of Mayhem. But they could not contain all of Mayhem because so many people had learned it and so much of it had gotten out past the cataclysm. So Mayhem just kind of exists and you pull it from the world. Or you are born with it because someone before you learned it from Maya.
Alright, so I relay some of that, and also add in, as far as me personally, I did not ever really think my ability was that strong. Everything we have done doing has made me rethink that.
I'm not sure if this equates 1-to-1, but when I cast my spells, I think of the stars, and I think of all the people those stars look down on. How many of those people need help? And the people that I look at, they might need help as well. So I channel that energy of anybody else who may be looking up at the stars asking for help, and try to channel that into helping the people around me. I don't. Is that the same for you? Is it different?
It used to be I just drew on magic to try and make people happy. Try and make them laugh. Now, it seems fueled by... If I can tap into enough willpower, enough emotion, I can increase the power of my spells. Let me ask you something, though, since we're asking each other questions now. How long do you intend to keep up this charade that you know less than you actually do?
As long as it's useful. I just kind of then stare forward and... we're here. And we might not even be here. We're like 3 blocks away. We're almost there.
You're a couple houses down, I'd say, at this point. Like, you can see it directly from where you're at.
Oh, nice. We're like 6 blocks away. Oh, yes. Yes.
Tell me this, then. As of right now, our goals align. I would like to consider you an ally at least and a friend at most. Is it foolish for me to hope for that?
I have interesting experience with wizards. They're passionate. They seek to climb a ladder that I don't understand, a ladder for power. You are different. I think you genuinely
At
want
least
to
I
help
was.
people. And as long as you stay true to your heart, then you can consider me an ally.
That's good enough for me.
But the moment that you make a decision that harms others in order to befit your personal gain, it will no longer be so. But the same goes for everybody else in the party. It's not just you. Azrael is on some
No,
very thin ice.
in all honesty, I would like to think that if I ever made that decision, that the me that's talking to you now would want you to do something about that. I hope that day never comes.
Well, I'm already Vaz's accountability buddy. I don't know if I can have to, but I'll do my best.
Aye.
I'll
All
say
right.
At this
We're
time,
at the
you
house
guys,
now, I'm
yes,
assuming?
arrive at the house.
Can you hit the door? But I can't reach it.
Oh my god.
I rap on the door.
A man approaches. A man opens the door. Very large, tired-looking man, and he goes, "Can I help the two of you?"
We're here on the business about your daughter, Blair.
He
Can we speak with you?
scratches his eyes for a second. He goes, yeah, come on in," and invites you both into his home. Vaza and Azriel, do the two of you have a talk at all while you are rushing to the palace?
Now they walk in silence.
That's totally fine. They could be just like, fuck it, we're booking it, and just like, run it.
I don't
try and
run.
pickpocket anyone on the way past. We have places to go, man. We got things to do.
Fine. It's not that I would use such a thing anyway.
There it is. I was like, wow, he didn't deny it. Never mind.
Yeah, I think we're just hauling ass just to get to the castle as quick as we can.
Gotcha. All right, then I will say, we'll go to Xerxes' room for a minute. Gildea, how are you standing watch? Are you like just sitting at the desk next to the bed? Or are you outside?
I would say I am, I don't know, maybe not in one place the entire time, but we'll say for the moment, like leaning up against the wall next to the door.
Gotcha. Outside the room or inside?
Inside.
Okay.
'Cause I don't trust his shady ass.
Right. Xerxes is sitting on the bed reading a book, since he kind of also feels uneasy about being watched while he sleeps. And as he's sitting there, he goes, like, he sort of looks over at you and he goes, "Your armor is Malian, is it not?"
Sure. What of it?
He kind of chuckles. He goes, "Just because you're guarding me, I don't see why we can't enjoy some friendly conversation. My brother was in the military."
None of it.
I feel like you should be sat there with your shield, just like bouncing it off the wall, like someone with like a freaking tennis ball or something. Just literally, just ba-dong, ba-dong.
The tavern keeper's like, please, we open in 3 hours. I need to get some sleep.
Oh my god. I'm not doing that.
Very well. He goes, of course, he, being from Savine, fought for the side of Remit, so I don't imagine you knew him at all. Just thought it was a interesting sort of connection. Do you have any family?
Sure. Yes and no.
He kind of looks out. He goes, "How can it be both?"
Well, none that are alive.
He kind of sinks down a little bit and he goes, "I'm very sorry to hear that."
So you do have a heart.
He closes the book and he goes, "Everything I'm doing is because I have a heart. Listen, I understand. Yes, killing Bernard without cueing him in onto what I was doing was a problem. Yes, I get that. However, it was the only way to ensure that what would happen would happen. I'm trying to save a girl's life. I mean, honestly, even you could probably see the good in saving a girl's life at the expense of someone else's."
A problem? So Bernard was just a problem. Bernard's life was just a problem.
No, but
that was your word. That was your word. How? I can't. How does? Who are you to judge whose life is worth less or more than someone else's? How do you know that by using Bernard's life to save this little girl that there wasn't some future disaster that he could have averted? Or how do you know that, yes, maybe you're successful and you go through it, that, this girl grows up and she's not corrupted by the mayhem? You have no idea. And yet you're just, we're gonna dabble and play and
He sits silent for a few moments and he goes, "How do I decide?" It's a very honest way of looking at it. However, you could say the same thing about yourself. Think about it.
Myself.
How many sons and daughters have you killed in the name of battle? How many people have you fought on the front lines and cut down because, well, you thought your purpose was just? How many people could have been the next king or queen or the master of mayhem or could have been a delegate to stop this whole war? But you fought them because you believed what you were doing was right. I see it as the same way. This girl's life, I believe, is the right one to save. And if I have to kill Bernard because she gets to live an extra 30-something years, then that is a fair trade.
You and I are nothing alike. People that I have killed in war are soldiers. They signed up for the same thing I did. They knew what they were getting into.
He stands and he goes, "Bernard is a sentinel. He signed his life to save others. Took on a wraith in order to have the power to save others, knowing it would shorten his life. He could have lived to 80. But instead he has chosen to die at 32 at the most. Or earlier than that by a monster that he decided to fight. Or even a human if he was hired as a bodyguard. He has chosen his life."
But you were going to take it from him and you didn't say anything. You did not tell him.
He sort of shakes his head and he goes, "Maybe you're right. Maybe conversation isn't the way to go," and turns his back and sits back down to read his book. And
Thank you.
we will jump over to Vaza and Azriel, who have this point made it to the castle in the capital, and are, I guess, now in the main throne room, going to... Well, okay, you guys have already been to the tower. Do you head straight there, or do you look around the castle first?
As we're walking through, is there anyone that's still awake that we can be like, "Yo, where's Aussie Man?"
Yeah, one of the... I would say on your way through, you find one of the twins.
Oh, okay, cool.
Please say exactly that.
Yo! Where's Aussie Man? We need Aussie Man right now.
She kind of looks at you odd and goes, "Who?"
Aussie!
We don't have it. Do you mean Oscar?
Yes!
Oh.
When you're best friends, you can call him Ozzy.
Uh-huh. I see. He might still be here. He said he was planning on leaving soon. Check the stables. I believe he was prepping one of his wagons to head out on his voyage.
Okay, come on, Azriel, let's go check out the stables. Thank you. If you've got any, like, food, can you just lay some out for us? Like, just, you know, just some chicken wings would be fine.
I mean, it's late. I'm off to bed. We're not... The cooks aren't awake.
Did you hear her? We are agents of the Queen.
Okay, yes, and you carry a coin with my symbol on it, and she kind of like flashes the symbol on her robe, and she goes, "So, who's more important?"
I don't think
You
it's that
know who I
important.
am.
We're hungry. Like,
Oh my god.
Azriel,
That's, I feel like you're Brad Pitt's character in Ocean's 11. You're just always eating.
Azriel, do you actually like scoff and go, "Do you know who I am?"
I do.
She goes,
Oh god.
She goes, "Yeah, you're Azriel. And then she like steps and gets really like up close to your face, and she goes, but do you know what I am? And her eyes kind of glow red for a second.
That's a neat trick you've got there.
She smiles and she goes, you'll find Oscar in the courtyard by the stables.
I'm gonna give her
Leave.
like a slap on the shoulder, like cheers, pal, and then like just like
Peace out.
yeah, and that's exactly what cheers, pal, bam on the shoulder. Then peace out, and then we're just gonna walk out.
All right, you guys head out to the stables, and sure enough, you find Oscar there with a few other people, kind of dressed in like leather adventuring sort of garb, packing up a large wagon. And Oscar is sort of pointing them where to put certain things.
I'm gonna like call ahead and be like, Aussie man, we need to chat. We need to have a conversation.
He turns and kind of like strokes his long gray beard for a second, and he goes, "Oh, okay, it's very late. What could be so important?"
So we have this mission. Obviously, the Queen sent us to spread good word about her. We need your help. There is a sick, dying girl, and we need your magic mojo.
I'm aware of your mission to spread good, but what is it this girl... Why does she need me specifically? There are healers all over the country.
You're a master of mayhem. We need a master of mayhem.
Again, I'm not trying to lower the importance. I'm sure what you're doing is very important, but there are healers everywhere. You know, you could go to a church and get someone from them, or, you know, something to that effect. Why must I do it?
So we met a sentinel,
Okay.
and we've met a wizard called Xerxes. Have you heard of Xerxes? Do you know him? He's on the outskirts of town.
He sort of narrows his eyes for a second, and he goes, I think he's come by once or twice as just sort of a traveling wizard. Okay, so you've met a sentinel and Xerxes the wizard.
So there's a sick girl out in the outlying village, and Xerxes' idea is to imbue her with the wraith that's in the sentinel to save her life, and we need you and your magic mojo to make that happen.
No, we need him to.
He kind of, you know, cocks his head for a second, and he goes, this is not my area of expertise. And sort of turns and picks up a box from the ground. He goes, I may be a master of mayhem, but I do not often force wraiths into people. That is my colleague's job. You can find him up north, thank you. And sets the box into the wagon.
No.
I'm gonna grab his arm and spin him
Oh
around.
God.
And
Oh,
just be
God.
like, man, we really need your help. This is gonna be really good for the Queen. This will be talked about all over, and this is what you asked us to do. This is what you wanted us to do, and you can't fob it off. You have a responsibility to these people and your Queen.
He make a dexterity save for me.
A save?
Yes, a dexterity save.
Oh. Frick.
Eight.
Not great. 6 plus 2. He goes, responsibility. Okay. And waves his hand, and you are thrown from your feet. And you go back a couple feet. He goes, you fall to the ground, and you don't lay fully on your back. Like, you're kind of scoot along on your butt for a second, and he goes, "Let me make something clear to you, both of you," and turns to look at Azrael. He goes, "I'm a master of mayhem. My responsibility, yes, is to the people of this country. However, I want you to understand, one girl's life being haunted by a plague is not of my current issue. There is an entire country just beyond the water called Demic that is shrouded in a fog that may be killing its people, and it has been that way for almost 200 years. I am preparing an expedition so I may save all of the people inside of that one area of Persalon, and instead you want me to stop everything and go save a little girl because it is my responsibility. No. It is yours. You were told by the Queen to do good by her word. You took this job to save this little girl, and you are fucking it up. It is not my responsibility. I have somewhere to be, or I will miss my ship. Therefore, I suggest the both of you," and he turns his back as he crosses away from Azrael. He goes, "I suggest both of you to quit fucking around and fix the problem. Until then, I will be working on saving the rest of Persalon while you worry about one little girl." And he picks up the back of the wagon and sort of latches it. He says, "Good night."
Okay, then.
What if she's the one that could help sort your town problem? If you just helped out her.
He begins stepping up into the wagon, and he kind of chuckles, and he goes, "Honestly, I highly doubt it." And looks to the person in the driver's seat of the wagon, and he goes, "Shove on." And the wagon, and he flicks the reins, and the wagon begins rolling.
Are you at least going to give us the name of this person that can help? Aussie man.
As it begins rolling, he goes, "The name of the person who can help Persalon." He kind of rolls his eyes, and he goes, "The Fractured," and waves his hand, and the wagon rolls further and begins picking up speed. And that is what you get from him as he begins fading out of view.
What the hell does that mean?
Fractured.
And we will jump to Dorcas and FIFA, who are sitting in the main living space of Blair, with Blair's father in his home.
Can I take a moment out of character to say that I just realized that if we succeed in this and heal this girl by putting a ghost inside of her, it's literally going to be Blair's haunt?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that is excellent.
Thank you. I couldn't move on until I pointed it out.
I love that.
That's incredible. Incredible.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah.
The metagame moments.
The two of you are sitting in the main living space with Blair's father. You can hear her sort of very deep coughing and rasping from upstairs. And he goes, "So, well, what is it that you have found out?"
The wizard you were working with believes he has found a solution. However, it presents with some deal of risk. He has asked me to assess the situation and see if there is any other choice than the one he has come up with. If I be allowed to see your daughter.
He sort of fixes himself for a moment in his chair, and he says, "He's said there was risk with everything he tried. How much more risk is this?"
The risk is another man's life will be paid. And there is no guarantee that it will save your daughter. He believes that it is the best course of action. I wish to make sure that that is true.
He kind of nods for a second, and he goes, her mother died giving birth to her. She's all I have, so whatever the cost, I'll pay it.
Let me see her.
He
And I can tell you then for sure what the cost will be.
he stands up and he goes, right this way, and leads you upstairs. The two of you go up, and the coughing and the wheezing and everything gets really loud. And he opens a door, and you find a young girl, no older than 8 years old, who is looking just about as bad as I can get without getting into gruesome detail of what a sick child looks like. Her cheeks have sunken in. There is a bucket next to her bed that appears to be filled with vomit. The hair on her head seems to be falling out in some places, and the places where there aren't patches of no hair, it is seeming to be like just raw, scratched away, kind of.
Oh shoot!
You
Hold on.
Hmm?
What did you?
I didn't do anything. I just bumped it, I guess.
You guys lose audio for a second. You good?
Yeah.
We did for a moment.
You good?
Yeah,
now,
we're back.
okay.
Yeah.
But she is laying in, not under a blanket, but more of wrapped in a sleeping bag, as she coughs and occasionally leans over and spits more of whatever she can muster kind of into this bucket next to her. And her father walks in and takes a seat at a chair sitting next to the bed and goes, sweetheart, these two men are here to see you, and they believe they may, know something about what's wrong with you. And she just kind of nods, not saying anything, and he stands up from the chair and kind of gestures you to come in.
I'm gonna go and kneel down by her bed. Is there a roll that I could make to try and determine what it is that afflicts her?
Medicine check.
Can I use guidance to add a D4 to that?
Sure thing.
medicine check? I just kind of like point out what I know from studying a little bit of healing in the forest.
Gotcha.
16.
And then you can roll 1d4
Oh,
out of that.
D4.
Yep.
4.
So 18 in total. That's really good. So you know what this is, and FIFA, you have actually seen it once before. You lived in your, sheltered community where they didn't really go out for exterior help, so whatever they got in the community, they dealt with there. This is a very rare sort of disease in this world called rot. It is a disease that sort of eats away at your body internally and gets to a point where eventually your organs do shut down and you're a husk. And she is in sort of the final stages where the rot that started within her is now pushing its way out. And the biggest problem, as Xerxes has kind of explained before, is there aren't really cures to it. It's kind of like a plague, but it pops up very rarely.
So I'm going to place my hand. Is it, well, how contagious is it?
It is not something that you get this late in its stages. When it's getting to the point where the person is going to die, the toxins that are affecting people aren't really there anymore. It's just what's left of the disease is acting. You know what I mean?
So I can't get it from her by touching her.
No, you won't be able to get it by touching her.
I'm going to put my hand on her forehead. And I'm going to cast message so that I might communicate with her without her having to use the strength to actually speak to me.
Okay.
Okay, so in her mind, I'm saying, "Hello, Mox dear. There's a way. I believe that we can save you. It will be very dangerous."
Okay. She looks up at you and she kind of shows like fear for a second because she sees you're talking without moving your mouth. And kind of coughs a bit, and then you hear in response a phrase of like, how dangerous?
A man is willing to pay his life to save yours. The life that he will give you is not as long as the one that you might have had you not contracted this. But you'll be healthy. And you'll be strong. Should it work?
You see her eyes kind of dart over, and she goes, "As strong as Dad?"
Aye. Maybe even stronger.
She tries to smile for a second and then begins coughing very badly again. And the dad kind of leans in because it has been silent between the two of you as you've been resting your hand, and he goes, "Is everything okay?"
I just nod at him. I need to know. I'm going back to talk to her.
Mhm.
I need to know if you wish this. Do you wish for another man to give his life? He does not have much time left, if that makes any difference to you.
Her eyes kind of like, squint a bit, and you hear her through, she says, "I don't want to kill anyone."
It has been his life's calling to help other people. He is choosing to do it in this way.
She kind of like slinks down into this, sleeping bag that she's in, and she looks up at you and says, "Does it have to be my choice?"
No. No, it does not. Your father has made his wishes known.
She shakes her head kind of away from your hand, and just before your hand leaves her head, you hear the faintest, "Then I don't want to make it." And you no longer have this sort of link.
Mm-hmm. I nod, and I stand back up and turn to the father and say, "The only way to save your daughter's life is to make her a sentinel."
His eyes kind of widen, and he goes, "You know how to do that?"
I cannot guarantee it will work, but it can be attempted.
Fever, you were gonna say something?
Xerxes has an idea of how it's done, and Dorcas is smart and much more caring and cautious than Xerxes, and still feels like this is worth the shot. However, if it does not work, we have no other options. And if it does, it's, probably how sentinels work.
He sits in the chair next to the bed again and places his hand on his daughter, like on her shoulder, even though she's sort of like rolled away. And he takes a really deep breath and he goes, "Whatever it takes."
Very well. Tifa. I need you to get the wizard and bring him here.
I will do it very fast. And
Thank
Naruto
you.
run out of the room and down the stairs.
I will say that about this time, Azrael and Vaza have about made it to like the edge of town and are just now entering, and see FIFA running out the door.
We have to try it.
Aussie man was no help. He's a prick.
It was worth the shot. Thank you for trying.
It kind of put us in our place. It was oddly satisfying.
Oh.
For you,
We don't have time to
baby.
unpack all of that. Let's go get the wizard.
Oh, we don't have time to unpack all of that. All right, you guys enter the room where Gildea is sitting and standing, well, having watch over Xerxes.
Hurting.
Xerxes.
What is it?
Huh?
No, what? Ms. Nerd said something.
I said guarding.
Yeah, that's the one. Guarding. Couldn't think of the word.
Xerxes,
He looks up and goes, "Yes."
you're up.
Showtime.
He nods and throws his sort of, outdoor cloak over himself. And as he begins to follow you out of the room, and we lost the nurse for a second.
What?
What? We're here.
I don't know, on my screen we lost your video.
I lost on mine as well.
Yep, no video from you guys.
What the hell?
It's
Did you guys
Like-
lost Beardy too? Are you resetting Beardy?
Yeah, seeing if that works.
in the grid fam on ours. It's there.
Yeah.
Everybody's there.
Try leaving the call and calling back in. For me, it's
Okay.
showing that you guys dropped the call completely. But then again, I'm just a bystander in the call. I don't actually see the data and everything.
Yeah, I'm checking. Oh, hello.
There it is.
Hey.
Back now.
Hi, guys.
Sorry, it
Hi.
black screen suddenly, and I was like, what happened? But Xerxes throws his cloak over himself and begins walking out. And as he passes you, Gildea, he sort of looks at you and goes, "I guess the choice was made for us." And exits the
Yes.
room. You all head back to the house and find Bernard kind of waiting on the steps of the house for you guys. And he looks at me and goes, "Is this it then?"
I'm
Alright,
afraid so.
You,
Good.
before we go in, are you sure you want to do this?
He nods and he goes, "Sentinels vow to give their lives for those who are not willing." And he stands up and he goes, "And this will be the last life that I give mine for."
You have anybody you'd like us to contact when it's over?
He shakes his head and goes, we cut all ties. However, and he reaches into like a pocket attached to his armor and pulls out an odd-looking. It's a little bigger than a coin, but you wouldn't call it a really medallion. Have you guys ever seen challenge coins? That's a military thing. If no one knows what that is, it's like it's not really a medallion. You can't hang it around your neck, but it's just a really big coin-looking thing that looks like if you drilled a hole in it, you could wear it as a necklace, as a medallion. And it's very artsy. Got a lot of stuff on it. Sometimes they're engraved. Sometimes they're just like stamped. Whatever it is. Anyway, he pulls out something like that, and on it is a symbol of a wraith. And then on the back is something. Do any guys? I guess Azrael would. Does anyone else speak Elvish?
I do.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Azrael and FIFA, you recognize it as in Elvish Bernard's name. And he holds it out and he goes, "If you find a sentinel, give this to them."
Okay.
I don't know who wants to take it. It's up to you guys.
I'll accept it, and I'll just say, I understand that you cut ties, but is there any thing that you cut that you'd want to just let them know?
He just says that coin tells those who need to know everything they need. And he walks into the building.
Before they get back, there was that book I had. I look at that. I'm grasping at straws here to see if there's anything I can find.
Make-
Because I know it's magic and somehow.
An Arcana check. Just as we did before. As you're looking through this book, the father asks which book that is. Like which magical book it is.
It is. I'm not entirely sure. It is foreign to me. I have to explore every option.
You are flipping through this book, trying to translate the odd symbols that scatter the pages. And not much more than what you had already learned comes through. You find the words you recognize on the same pages, and mayhem still swirls. And as you're kind of reading and looking at this book, the group heads up the stairs into the room, and as Xerxes enters, he goes, "No, excuse me, I burped. Sorry." Xerxes enters and he goes, "Oh, I see we have a apprentice in our midst. I wasn't aware, I apologize."
I close the book, put it away, and rush at him, grabbing him by the neck and slamming him against the wall.
Jesus. Make a strength check.
What?
To, hit him. You're fucking throwing this man.
I know.
Right? I rolled a thing and let me check yours because I always have to refresh. 16. Okay, you make contact with him and he kind of throws up his hands and grabs you and you push him back a couple steps, but you don't all the way get him to the wall. And you're asking what?
No, I'm asking the last man who used the term apprentice killed a friend of mine right in front of me. How do you know what that is?
He kind of brings his arms down, making yours bend so he can grab your robes as well. And he goes, "Anyone who's been doing magic as long as me knows that is an Apprentice of Mayhem book. It is the start of magical apprenticeship. and sort of drops your hands against his. He goes, people who are training under a master receive that book. I didn't realize that's who you were.
My apologies. Times are stressful. Let's just do this and be done with it.
He goes,
Wait.
right.
Wait.
Beardy's freaking out.
Wait.
Shit.
I lost audio for a second. What'd you say?
I yelled, what?
Oh.
Where did we get that book?
Yeah, nobody knows about it.
I think that was, oh god, we don't know about it, do we?
Yeah,
Yeah, nobody knows about it.
I mean, now you do. You've seen it, but you don't know where he got it.
Yeah, but like, we as players know where he got it, right? It was
Yes.
from...
From the Unsullied Manor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that freaking basement guys.
Yeah, to metagame, you got it from the Unsullied Manor. You got it in the main office. He got it in the main office before you guys went into the torture chamber.
Sorry, Beardy's putting two and two together.
It's okay. And he goes, very well. My wand, if you would please.
I take it out and hold it up in front of him and be like, is this really going to be useful for you?
He snatches it out of your hand. He goes, it'll be easier than doing it through my hands. And he walks Bernard over and sits him down in the chair that's sitting next to the bed. And kind of takes a deep breath and he goes, all right. I will need your help. But of course, just sort of follow my lead, okay?
Alright.
Alrighty. We are gonna make some Arcana checks. I'm gonna roll one as well. 'Cause shit's about to get interesting.
Am I able to guide Dorcas again?
Yeah, if you have
Just
another charge of it. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, it's a cantrip, so can I just like keep helping him?
Yeah, if you're trying to channel into this a little bit too.
Yeah, just add it.
So
to
I
it.
should roll the d4 to my roll. So I rolled a 14 plus 4.
18.
So
yeah.
I got a dirty 20.
Oh wait, what the fuck?
'Cause I added
Hang
Because
on.
I added that 2 from...
That thing's freaking out. Oh, you got an 18 and then plus 2. Okay. I gotcha.
Added 2, yeah.
Yep, so dirty 20. FIFA
What
also
did he get?
also roll an Arcana check. If you want me to be 100% honest with you, I did roll a natural 20.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I thought... You said things were getting interesting. I'm like, you either rolled a 20 or a 1, so...
Y'all are dealing with some big magic right now. Remember what I told you about Mayhem? The more complex the spell, the more interesting shit gets.
Do we need to do it again?
Hang on. Did you roll one, Beardy?
Oh, you want me to?
Yes, I kind of got lost in what I was saying, but please
Oh, great,
also
yeah,
roll an Arcana check. Since
FIFA
you're
is
tapping in a little bit.
awful at Arcana, but I will. That's a 9.
Okay. So,
A -1 to Arcana.
it's all good.
I'm like
Yikes.
trying to keep up, and I'm like, I don't understand any of this book shit.
It's alright. He got a 20. He got a natural 20. I got a dirty 20. I think we'll be okay.
The 3 spellcasters, as well as Bernard, stand around the bed and begin channeling energy. The rest of you are kind of, I guess, behind everyone, but sort of scattered out throughout the room. There is a pulsing, not that you can see, but forcible waves that you feel, almost like you're feeling the waves of tide hitting you in the water. That is coming from this corner of the room as you all stand around. A glow starts to come over all of Bernard's body, and he starts shaking in the chair, and as he begins shaking, there is the glow starts to sort of take shape. And I had mentioned before how when a sort of see-through aura came over him, it looked as though someone else, like a decayed form of him, was over his body. That aura starts to take shape as that around him, and quite suddenly, a beam of very bright white light comes from the wand in each of your staves and hits Bernard in the chest. And as it does, Bernard's body is thrown back in the chair as he leans over the back of it. But the sort of transparent, aura that was there goes forward. And a deafening scream comes from this aura as the wraith begins to pull away from Bernard's body. As this happens, Blair in the bed kind of throws herself against the wall, still coughing and hacking, but, is rightly afraid of the thing that just appeared next to her bed. And the dad kind of reaches around and grabs both Vaza and Gildea's hands and just sort of like holds them tight as he's panicking. And the wraith sort of raises up into the air and thrashes and fights around in this ball of light it is currently contained in. And with a sudden raise of the wand, Xerxes throws his hand down, and all of the beam of lights in the ball go down into the girl. And the room goes very dark for a few moments. And as the darkness sort of sets in, and it's hard to see, the dad releases his grip on both Vaza and Gildea and lights a candle in the corner of the room and holds it up high so everyone can kind of see. And Bernard is laying sort of, head back in the chair next to the bed, and the girl is huddled in the corner, laying on the side of the bed. And he goes, Did it work?
Can I, real quickly, can I ascertain whether or not I'm still needed to, hold in the wraith right now?
There is no beam or anything coming from your staff, so...
So then can I leap up onto the bed towards the girl and quickly trace out the constellation of a bear and use Enhance Ability, Bear's Endurance, to give her advantage on con checks and 2d6 temporary hit points?
Sure. Let me roll a couple things then.
Try to strengthen her a bit.
Yep.
If she looks like she's struggling.
She's currently kind of motionless right now. It's this weird sort of silence where, you can... It's like you can hear the ambient sound of air and, your heart beating in your ears. That kind of eerie silence,
Do I think that would be the right thing to do right now?
Yeah, I would say so. Considering this is medically, going on.
It's only 3 temporary hit points.
That's okay. And then what was it? What was it to con saves?
Advantage to con, yeah.
An advantage to con? Okay, well that's good then. So, a couple of moments pass after you trace this bear, and the dad kind of steps forward. He goes, "What was that for?"
Just helping her fight this.
Xerxes sort of turns and he goes to the dad and goes, "Just give it a few moments." And the girl becomes encased in a green light after a few moments of just sort of sitting there. And she sits up and looks at you, FIFA, who's up on the bed. And when she turns to look at Xerxes and Dorcas, you see, as I mentioned, her face is kind of sunken in, and there are patches missing from her hair. You know, that her eyes are kind of sunken in as well. She looks very malnourished. As she turns, that FIFA, I don't know if you'll remember, Beard, I don't know if you remember, when we did your one shot, long ass time ago, you met a sentinel, right?
That's right, yes.
And you, when he turned his face, saw what looked like a skeletal face on his. You see that same sort of look as she turns her head. Like when she turns her head away from you, you see that, you know, projection on her face. And as it fades, her cheeks aren't as sunken in. They're starting to push out, and her eyes start to gain color again. And she looks up at Xerxes and Dorcas, and she goes, out loud, she speaks and goes, "Did it work?" And her eyes glow a very bright green for a moment, and then fade away. And she just kind of looks up at all of you.
Can we get... I look to Vaza. Can we get a towel? Blair's a little sweaty.
And then rip another bit of like my tunic off and just kind of hand it.
I kind of take the towel and I'm wiping the sweat from her, but I'm also like examining to like make sure that she's like all good.
Right.
But I'm like trying to use like a little bit of bedside manner and be like, let's check you out.
Right. You're seeing the color return to her, and you know the spots on her head that were gone are starting to heal up. Like I said, her cheeks aren't as sunken in anymore, and that sort of thing.
I kind of I like finish wiping her face, and I kind of poke her on the nose. I say, I think you're gonna be just fine.
I'm gonna go, like, while he's doing that, I'm gonna go round to where Bernard's body is and just check that he is peaceful, and then kind of nudge Asriel and be like, help me move him out in case it upsets the girl.
Okay, Azrael, you like begin helping Vaza then?
I will help Vaza.
Okay. The two
Thanks, buddy. Thank you. That's so enthusiastic.
the two of you sort of grab Bernard's body and begin moving him out of the room behind the crowd of people so the girl can't see him so much. And Xerxes turns to the dad and goes, I believe it worked. I will, however, remain in town for a couple weeks to ensure that it takes properly. The dad sort of nods and kind of like pushes past both Dorcas and Xerxes and sits on the bed. And
I like bow out and I get off.
Right, and like they both look at each other for a few moments and smile, and the girl goes, "Am I okay?" And the dad looks back and smiles and he goes, "Your eyes are green," and takes her and a big hug. And the two of them sit for a moment, and Xerxes goes, "We should probably give them some privacy for a few moments," and steps out of the room, following Vaza and Azriel.
Yeah, I leave.
Everyone following out.
Yeah.
You all follow out and are downstairs once again, standing in the main living room. As you are, what the hell just happened to my computer? Okay, I think we're good. Sorry. Things changed on my live screen and I had to be sure it wasn't broken. You're all down in the main living space, and Xerxes goes, if you would all prefer, I will be happy to take care of Bernard's body and dispose of it properly, if you judge me to do that.
think we
No.
Yeah, no.
He puts up his hands. He goes, "Very well. I can understand."
I'm gonna grab like a tablecloth or something from somewhere and just start wrapping, so that we can get him to the funeral place that
Gotcha.
we've been before.
Yeah, you take. Oh, go ahead.
I just say that I need some air and I leave. I go outside.
All right. You go to step outside, and he turns to all of you. He goes, I want to say I'm sorry, but the truth of the matter is this is the outcome I expected. I guess I apologize for putting you all through so much, having not been involved in the situation. I do, however, have a sort of odd question about the time you spent in the crypt. If you don't mind my asking.
I mind. Can we, take 3 minutes after this man has died and given his life?
He
And I walk outside.
goes, I suppose it's not an important question. And takes a seat on one of the chairs in the living space. Let's, does everyone just need to take a minute and breathe after that? Is that what? Okay.
I kind of look at him. I say, I wish I could find words that would make you see how wrong you were in all of this. But I know it's pointless. And I leave.
Alright. Vaza and Azriel, I'm assuming you two are taking the body out. Unless you have
Yeah.
anything you want to do or say, or I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes.
No, I'm just gonna carry on like wrapping up and then moving him outside, putting him in the cart where Simon is.
Alright. Azriel?
I've done some terrible things. But you, sir, make me look like a saint.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa.
Nice.
Xerxes.
That's a
Sick
good
word.
one.
Xerxes kind of nods and he goes, if I knew you better, I'm sure that would hurt me a lot more than it already does. And I know nothing I say will change your mind about that. You all are outside on the kind of like porch onto the road of this house.
I kind of just look for Dorcas. See where he's at.
Yeah, while
I'm
I'm
off.
getting everything ready, I'm kind of watching where everybody is to make sure I know where everyone is stood.
Are there? I don't know. I'm off like punching a tree or something. I'm pissed off.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably a lamppost across from the house, like, lighting up the road. You can probably be sitting there, like,
There
just
you
kind of.
go.
And I kind of go up and I'm like, wait, stop. And I like take your hands for a second and I wrap a bunch of cloth around them. That way you don't hurt your fists as badly. And then I go, there, continue.
I like how it's not the problem of you're punching a lamppost. It's protect your hands if you're gonna punch things.
Yeah.
Get it out,
Yep.
good safely.
Safety first.
Safety first, kids.
We saved a little girl's life.
Yes,
We took another to do it.
we didn't take anything. He gave it. Do you know how old that girl is?
That does not.
Are you asking or are you
Sweet.
asking Dorcas?
I'm asking Dorcas.
Okay,
because
sorry,
I wasn't
my bad.
paying attention.
She's 8.
You know how old I am?
No.
I'm 8. We just bought that girl 2 or 3 more of my lifetimes. I'm not sure. I'm not good at math, but we have to
I don't
believe that
know.
we have inspired a good in the world. And we will move on.
I wish I
during
believed that.
Bernard's sacrifice that he gave willingly. It was his choice.
Was
That should help, but it doesn't.
No, it still hurts.
I wish it did. 2 people now have died. Are we doing the right thing? Is our interference actually causing good in the world? I don't know.
What was the guy in the cage's name? Sorry, I've forgotten.
Alan.
No,
Alan?
no, the one you
Oh.
saved from the
Alex.
torture. is
Alex, yeah.
We got Alex out of the cage. Alex is still alive, right? Alan died.
Correct. Yes, Alex
Alan
is still
died.
alive.
And they are living a life of freedom. Alan, nobody joins a group of strangers who attack the place you're guarding if you don't want out of the place that you're guarding. We gave Alan a way out. And we've learned our lesson. And all we can do is try to get somebody one step further next time.
Someday.
It sucks. It's terrible. Death is not fun, but it is a natural part of life, and all things have to end. All we can do is our best to make sure people feel good at the end. It's not our job to put
Careful, wee man. Your wisdom is showing.
And I take a bite of a chicken wing, and I crunch the bone, and I walk away.
As this conversation sort of comes to an end, footsteps approach.
That
From
was perfect.
Dorcas is like, "Oh, I know how to shut this guy up."
footsteps approach from up the path, and a couple of you look up to notice that Robert is approaching the Silver Wolf, who is, the Silver Wolf of the people. He's been kind of overseeing you guys in your endeavors. And he goes, I know it's late, but I was informed by Misha that a couple of you had visited the castle, and I was wondering if you needed something.
I'm gonna go up to him and I'm gonna poke him in the chest and go, your mate Ozzy is a prick.
He kind of chuckles a little bit and goes, I won't deny that. I have known Oscar for a long time, and I can't say I'm quite fond of him, but I respect his capabilities as a master of mayhem.
I don't.
He shrugs and goes, not many do. He sort of looks around to the area you're all standing in and sees the cart Simon is wheeling, and he goes, what exactly, I mean, not to judge what you're all doing, but why is there a body in that cart?
sacrifice.
His eyes go wide for a second, and he goes,
This was not us, Roger. I promise it was not us.
He goes, so sacrifice in terms of, like, your friend Alan.
I
He goes, very well. I don't mean to interrupt all of your work, as it may be very pressing. The Queen's sort of phase 2 of her plan has begun. If that is the way to put it, she would like a discussion with all of you in your involvement in that whenever you're ready. Of course, I'm not going to tell you you have to be there now. It is very late. However,
What's phase 2?
In order to stop, well, we need to relieve the fog from Demic in order to get to the alleged assassin and where they, well, not alleged assassin, the attempted assassin, and where they are held up. So phase 2 is a delegation mission, sending individuals, representatives of the crown, to convince the lords and ladies to end the war and work together on stopping the fog. She has finer details that she wishes to discuss with all of you and your part in that. It is not really my place to speak of it all.
I thought solving the fog was Ozzy's responsibility.
He is working on a Hail Mary, so to speak. According to him, he is headed to the father country, where the other 2 Masters of Mayhem currently reside, and he is going to attempt to convince them to help, though they care not for our country and what we do. And it's, I must admit, very far-fetched. He's not one for delegation with other magic users, so we must...
Or people.
Yes, or people in general. So we must work with what we have for now, until he can either come and help or not.
Who is this Mary he's hailing?
I wanted to ask so bad. Thank you. Thank you.
More of a last stand in a way. It's
More of a Hail Mayhem.
sure. Hail Maya, if you will.
There it is. It's canon.
It's
Write it down.
canon. So until he can confirm or deny the capabilities of what he's doing, we need to keep acting and acting as much as we can. So the Queen would like to talk to all of you about your place in helping in that instance. Like I said, no rush, but well, I will be at the castle if you need anything further. Is there anything you need from me now?
I think you've done enough, Ryan.
He sort of shakes his head and he goes,
Is
good?
is there a way that we might get a plot of land in which to bury this sentinel who sacrificed his life?
He looks to the wagon. He goes, I can take your friend here up to the castle and get him a plot in the graveyard, if you would like me to.
Yes.
He goes, of course. I will take him up then. And he grabs the reins of the donkey and goes, I will see all of you relatively soon then. Good luck in your current mission. And begins to wander down the road. As he sort of fades from sight from the road and you all remain here for a few moments, there is a I guess the best word is explosion. Followed by a very bright light down the block from where you all are. And a lot of yelling mixed with cheering, it sounds like, comes from its origin. And yeah. As you all, I believe, rush to discover what's going on. And you turn the corner to find the 4 dwarves from the crypt standing in the street, surrounded as well by a few goblins. These goblins don't look sophisticated like FIFA does. Yeah, in this world there are kind of 2 kinds of goblins. There's goblins that are highly intelligent and can speak and act and do things like FIFA, and then there's ones that, live in goblin tribes and kind of, do what you would expect a goblin to do, generically.
So think Harry Potter goblins versus Lord of the Rings goblins?
Yes. Very much, actually. And there is the inn they are standing in front of, which there is fire coming from the front porch of. And the one dwarf screams out and goes, "Lion bastards told us Damek won! This city ain't shite!" And throws a chair that is on, that was out front across the ground. He goes, "Burn it all, damn it! Burn it all in the name of the king!" And you all look, and they look up and meet your eyes, and the female dwarf sort of walks up and goes, "Show him what it gets for lying!" And the goblins, as well as a couple of the dwarves, begin to charge you. And rather than roll initiative, that is where we're going to...
And that's where we're going to stop.
It is where we're going to stop for the night.
Damn it, Soul!
Initiative.
Knew it.
Yep.
Or we could just roll initiative and keep going.
No. We're coming up on we're almost to our 3-hour mark, and we're gonna stop here. I want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. I'm so excited to be back doing D&D, and it's gonna be so much fun.
Good.
If you haven't been here and you want to get caught up and you're curious about the rest of it, episode 1 through 10 are on my YouTube channel, which you'll see, which you can look up. It's got the same logo and everything. Yep, all the episodes are there in their uncut glories, so you might have to do some skipping around from when we pause and stuff. But we're back, and we're going to keep doing, hopefully, our alternate Fridays. Next Friday is Souls Race, so we won't be doing this.
Does it have to be?
It's going to be. And
yeah, it does.
yeah, I want to, again, just as channel stuff, give a big thank you to Chris Chi for following, as well as Zoe for following as well. Excuse me. It means a lot. You guys did it off stream. I just wanted to be sure there was a shout out for that. Is there anything you guys want to plug or say or talk about here at the end?
No.
Thanks again to our awesome
Thanks for
dungeon
being
master.
here. Yeah.
If you're not following or sub to Soul, you should be.
Yeah, you
that's fine.
should.
What,
Yeah, you should.
Yes, you should.
Absolutely.
if you're not following or sub to the people below me, their handles for their streams are all right above their heads, and you can find them there. With the exception currently of Patty. Patty's kind of on a hiatus from streaming, which is okay. Maybe one day we'll convince them to come back. But you should definitely check out their streams when they are streaming, and check out their channels and social medias in order to find them. And that's all I really got. So, yeah. Our return to Pursalon was a rough one, but that's how we do it here at Terribad Tavern. And we will be back again in 2 weeks with more of this. Thank you guys.
Bye.